Okay, everyone, we're going to learn some Hebrew, biblical Hebrew, today on the Polyglot Show. Come on in, share it, and let's do some damage. Alright, we're a little late today. Got to do some, what do you call that? Babysitting. Oh, how hard. How hard those little creatures. Wonderful creatures. As they said, what was that? Nanny McPhee, was it, or one of them? Those monstrous creatures. But anyway, they're to be loved, and so we do that and whatnot, and so that's why we need the flexibility here. Other than that, I once I lose the scheduling and all that, I really, it disrupts me substantially. And oftentimes it's done by the problem that I have from the accident we had. But right to like today's like a funny day, you know. It's like I'm like half and half, a little excited that we got started with the Sunday broadcast again. So that gave me a little bump there, and or pump, and so it's like I'm a little headache here, things happening. I feel it in the back then when it's just, but it's still like let's pushing it through. So let's keep going through. What we're going to do today is Hebrew presents certain issues. So today we're going to attack those issues straight on. The main issue with the Hebrew, of course, is that it has no vowels, written as per se. So again, spoken, of course, but when you're going to read, you don't have vowels, necessarily. The vowels are given to you through other additions in the text. That we're going to look at today, what they are, what they're called, if you got to face a test on this tomorrow or something. But in any case, we're going to look at that. And I figure, you know what we really need, because once you learn to read it, and then, and add the vowels that are supposed to accompany these consonants, you'll be speaking. And we'll go slow with the reading, and we'll get into the speaking of it, and as equal and on par. Not just that we learn to read the Hebrew, but that we're able to express ourselves in at least biblical Hebrew. Now, this is not the Hebrew spoken in Israel, so it's not like you're going to go to Israel and people are going to understand it, right? In my opinion, they should, but there's no guarantee on that. I'm not really interested in speaking like going to Israel and being, talking in the street or something like that. But they should understand. My belief is that they should understand the Hebrew that I speak. It shouldn't be all that too different. And in either case, basically in every case, you should be able to read things in Israel, like even the menus and things like that, because the alphabet is the alphabet, right? So you should be able to figure out things, maybe not pronounce them exactly 100% like in Israeli, but people with a brain should be able to compensate. Like I've always said with my Spanish audience, it's up to you. I may not speak perfect Spanish, but it's up to you to understand things. You got to think. I can't, I can't do everything. I can't speak every language perfectly. So you guys have to compensate. Do something with yourself, for goodness sakes. All right. Okay. So laughter aside. Let's get into this Hebrew. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at how the vowels, I'm going to learn these vowels. They use a series of dots and little signs along with the letters that dictate to you the vowel sound that is supposed to accompany the pronouncing of this consonant. So it's not like just saying B. Think of it almost as the phonetical way of saying B or writing B. Well, how would you write that? If you play Scrabble, you'll notice that certain letters can be put down as a word, but you have to spell it out. For example, which letter do we usually spell out there a lot? Like F, I believe. F is spelled EF on the Scrabble board. So it's like you're saying that vowel, even though it's a letter, but the way you say it is what the Scrabble accepts. So it accepts the EF, if I'm not mistaken. EF, F. That's a word. And there's a few others like that. They escape me. I hardly use them, but they are accepted on the Scrabble board. So that's the one thing that is like in Hebrew, the consonant is accompanied by these symbols that tell you if you're going to say it as a or an ah or ooh, stuff like that. So that way you know that this you will be saying the consonant and the vowel sound that these signs indicate. So in order for us to, so I figured that we should concentrate on those sounds, right? Identifying those little signs, because that really makes the difference. And then also the alphabet, so that when we see the written Hebrew, we know what letter that is. So it's the letter and then the vowel. So that's what we're going to concentrate on, letters and vowels, letters and vowels, letters and the vowel sound. And that way we can move on. I think we'll progress a lot in reading, at least reading the Hebrew. And once we do that, then we're able then to spend some time in looking at words and their meanings and things like that. Then we can do, some of that other stuff and actually read the scripture and discuss the meaning of the words and why they're the way they are. Okay, so let's do that right now. Join me if you will. I did sign up, by the way, to the dot in Hebrew. They have like a $3 a month thing going on. Let me put that on the screen for you all. Yeah, because we're going to get loose without English. We can easily transition. Okay, this is obviously not the right screen. So the things have changed on this computer. So one moment. And now you see my two instances of OBS. It's interesting. This is not showing the right display here. So let me just, because I didn't notice there's like a switcheroo here happening. Let me just make a correction on that. No. Let's get back to there. One moment. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the computer itself to make the adjustment. Hopefully, that's going to fix things here. So let's let me do that. Alrighty, where are you? me display. Display options again. Display options. Let's get into the magnifying glass here. Display settings. Let's see. So, it is correctly identifying. Alright, so 1 and 2 are displaying correctly. Why OBS is not doing the right thing? No idea. Yeah, it says that that's wrong, but however, that's not what's showing. Yeah, there's something I see. There's something like it's sharing the screen, so it is not truly like a two-screen issue here. It's actually screen in front of me, but it's not showing up as that. It's not listing the segment. Let me try. Sorry about that, folks. Technical issue. Incredible. I just had a Sunday class just a few hours ago. I did not use the computer, and maybe that was good after all. OBS hasn't mixed up, so I'm just going to switch them out just for the sake of the broadcast, and then we can get back to this broadcast and continue what we're doing. We're trying to educate some people, here, and let's go. I'm sorry about that. You guys were looking at the introduction again. I don't know how that started up for you. Anyway, we have a mix-up here on the OBS as usual, but we are mixing it up and continuing on. So let's go there now. And you guys are ready here, and without luck, it'll probably straighten up when we're in the teaching. Anyway, as I was saying before, we did go ahead and purchase a membership, an account in this thing. Now, this is a free account, but it doesn't let you do the audio. Remember, the point was to get the audio so you can hear the audio. And what they requested for that functionality for a single word at a time was just $3 a month. So I figured one of you would gladly send that my way and help sponsor this show and sponsor something that helps people to fight dementia and Alzheimer's and learn new things, and support this type of programming. People support and donate to all these games, people playing games all the time. But maybe one of you would be so cognitively graced enough to appreciate some of this material that we're doing, and enough to send $3 here and there. This is a monthly subscription, so listen. So I did that. They gave us a free pro trial, so that for a limited time, I don't remember how much time, we're going to have full functionality, but I really don't need the full functionality right now. We don't need to have audio for the full text, which they are able to do. But in either case, even when you're paying for the $3 a month, and I forget what the other one is, it's not that much really. For the pro level, it's a good deal. It's a good deal. You know that Google doesn't do the Hebrew, at least not yet. And of course, when they do it, they may be translate. They're not going to be doing biblical Hebrew, that's for sure, right? So even then, even when Google does their get it straight with the Hebrew, you're still going to have the issues of it's not going to be biblical Hebrew. So so this is still a good deal with whichever way you look at it. So I look at it as a good deal. And again, we appreciate any contributions to help pay for the resources that need to get paid for. I think this is something that is worthy to get, and you had to pay for it. I've been looking for a little while, not exhaustively, but hey, I found this already. It's here. It's $3 a month. Nothing to cry about. So we did that, and I wanted to bring that to you guys so that you guys can have something there. So in any case, at least we have a way to check that we're pronouncing things the right way. And you can see here it has those little symbols here, the vowel symbols, which we will learn what they are, the name for those in a moment, but they're here and here. You see it on top of the lamed, the L, and you have it on the top, and that affects the way uh, this is pronounced. So the L, what is the vowel that comes after that, or whatnot? There's different treatments. It does get a little complicated on some of the letters and some of the symbols, but we'll get through to that. But here you go. Here you have it. And we have then that sounding now through the audio that will help us get through most of the problematic things. Wait 1 second while I make some adjustments here also that had to be done. I did not realize also this is part of the issue that this computer exhibited in these, when I started up the show. After the show, I'm going to definitely have to reboot just to clear it out and give OBS a fair chance. It's a lot. 2 hours with me is a lot. Okay. Now, so we got that. So let's go and look at also, um, let's look at, let's see, the Hebrew alphabet. These are two things I'm suggesting you guys do, is to get for yourself a resource of the Hebrew alphabet online. This is at israelbookshop.com. It's a graphic. You can do a Google search for images and look up a Hebrew alphabet, and you get a whole bunch of different types of charts. Look for what best that you can understand and make heads or tail out of with. And also what you want to do is to get yourself, like for example, here I have the same thing, but this is for the vowels and points. Okay, we're going to look at it, the pointed text as it's called, and it says how to pronounce what sound it should sound like. What vowel sounds are you going to add. Then it has other nikud. It has a few other nikud illustrated in table 3 here. Okay, but what I don't like about the way they did it, which they have no other way of doing it, I understand that. But when you're trying to learn something, you need things like side by side so that you can make quick reference side by side. So they don't have it because, of course, it's a web page. You got to do things within the web page. It's not too much real estate to go wide like that. So basically, it's really up to you to either get different resources and do the tiler thing that I have in the browser. It splits up into 2 or 3 tiles, and then you can have them side to side and blow them up each screen. Each tile, so that the 3 references can be there: the alphabet in this case, and the nikud, or the point vowel treatment, so that you can remind yourself of how it's done, etc., etc. or you'll need a different, a different way of organizing it. In either case, you need to organize it in a way that makes sense for you. So let's see what else I have here. I'm not sure that these are. Oh yeah, and so what I want to discuss with you guys is that Wikipedia, I believe, has created a thing called Wiki Books, or it may be a different thing altogether. Um, and let me just check that for you here. It might be related or it might not be. Let me just see what this is. This is about Wiki Books. Wiki Books is a Wikimedia project for collaborative writing open content textbooks that anyone, including you, can edit right now by clicking on the edit link. So again, it's using the same type of idea that Wikipedia uses, but it does not identify itself as being related as yet. Uh, so yeah, so it's part of the Wikimedia project, and Wikipedia is in here. So it is Wikipedia and Wiki Books are part of the Wikimedia project family. So it is related to Wikipedia. Okay, so what they have here is a wonderful book on how to, on Hebrew, on the Hebrew language. Here we have the Hebrew alphabet here, Aleph Bet lesson, I should say, Aleph Bet. And they start presenting a few of the letters here so that you can start getting an exposure to the letters and exposure to the issues of pronunciation. And also they include how to write handwritten the same letters, how it's so that you can identify as handwriting as well, or in the handwritten form. So I find that very good. It seems to have a comprehensive coverage of the, in this case, the letters and the soundings. So I think that it's a good resource for you guys as well to consider. If you look at my YouTube, there'll be links in the YouTube for a course or two, Hebrew from real Hebrews, teaching people how to read and speak Hebrew. And so I think those courses, I think one of them is Torah based, so it's also a teaching in Torah. Again, you can pick up a lot, and these are intended to teach English speakers on how to read and how to pronounce, etc., etc. Those resources are available on the YouTube channel, Global MyCDH Network, and you see below the polyglot videos. All the videos have the same links for all of the languages we're doing, and you can just get access to those things through that method. Okay, so that is what it is. We also found on Pinterest. We also found some resources on Pinterest that also show you the alphabet. Here it shows you the Nikud as well. So you have both things, alphabet, the Nikud, again, which are the point vowels and the things related. You'll always find some interesting pins that help you recognize. So I think that at this point, what is best for us, as I was saying before, is to concentrate on identifying the letters and the nikud, which are the vowel points, and be able to then be able to pronounce letters with the appropriate vowel attachment, so that when we see it, we encounter it in reading, we can automatically apply the vowel vocalization that is needed for each. So I'm just going to look through this and see if there's anything else here that for our level now we can make reference to and move to. Again, Google image search for the Hebrew alphabet reproduces this result here. And again, when we start reading our Hebrew Genesis Bible, you will see also begin to have to deal with those renderings as well. So we'll see that with what the beta sheet is. And so here again, just things for you to look at. Look at them, look at faith, right? How that is rendered. Emuna, emuna, and you see that the right, is with the aleph, but because of the nikud, the vowel points here, you have that sound, and there you go. Okay. Simha, simha. Again, the points here dictate here. This first lettering here can either be an S or an sh. However, these points are what determine what it's going to be and its position. Because you have nikud that starts at the beginning or at the end of the letter. The positioning is very important as well. All right. So again, this is just getting your eyes used to looking at the Hebrew text. Hebrew text, letters, and letting those images, sink in to your mind and your brain to get used to beginning to see how different characters and letters. Here's Yeshua, how that is written. Yeshua, right? So you notice that, right? You notice that that has the SH, and the dot is above the first branch on that it comes to, and then this is Simha, but it's not the sh of Yeshua. The dot is not on the first one; it's on the last one here, and one underneath. It just is. Again, on the first one, there's no dot, so it's not a sh. The little things there you start noticing, and it helps you to begin to start familiarizing yourself with the vowel markings or the vowel points. Ahava, as we see here. Ahava. Ahava. This lamed here. You see that there? You see what they did with that yod? They put it to the Egyptian figure here. That it actually came from the hand, that upper hand. All right. So those are what we're going to consider today. We'll do a little bit of it. It's a lot. Hebrew, you're going to have to take it nice and easy. Take it nice and easy. Okay. So let's get to the alphabet. Let's see if I can get this alphabet here. What is this? Okay. The Aleph. Aleph. Aleph bet is A, B, as in boy. Now, it's B with the dot. As you can see, if it has the dot in it, in the middle of it is a B, as in boy. But if it doesn't have that dot, and you have that backward C, I'm going to talk about things, plain and simple. So you see that the bet is a backward C with a dot in it. That's all. If it doesn't have the dot, it's just a plain backward C, you see it, then it's a V, right? V as in vine. But if it has the, and I'm just saying ba, we don't know because it could be B, ba, boo, depending on the vowel points, which these letters don't have. So it really doesn't matter how we say it now. We're just using the English pronunciation of B. But in Hebrew, you have to understand that B is not necessarily B in Hebrew. It depends. How you doing, Jake? It depends on the vowel points in to determine if we actually say B or ba or boo, whatever. Okay, so these are the things to understand. Bet. I guess in either way, it doesn't matter that when it's either similar to Arabic or mine. I can't tell you yet. It definitely not the way it's written. But there could be similarities. There have to be. It's Middle Eastern tongues. So there has to be great similarities in those languages. So yes, there has to be origins that are shared. And so, yeah, it has to be. There's no way it wouldn't. So they all came from Father Abraham, so something's up. Okay, so there is similarity, but not apparently. When you're starting to learn, it's not simply apparent that there is. Okay, but we'll see that. You'll see that later on if we get there. G. This is now, as I was saying, the letters in themselves, the shape in themselves, they do have their name. So they do have a name regardless of vowel points or anything like that. So their names are here. Aleph is Aleph. Even if the vowel points have you pronounce it as E, as in Elohim, it uses the same Aleph. The issue is that Aleph is the name of the character. Uh, it can be pronounced differently, of course, depending on the vowel points. I guess when you need to look at it, the vowel points are similar. They have the same function in English as our long and short symbols. Although we don't use them in writing, we use them in teaching how to pronounce words, right? But in Hebrew, they use it for writing, actually. So, yeah, it's like writing English with the long A as opposed to the short A. In English, we basically just have long and short. In Hebrew, they represent the vowels. That's basically a basic way of looking at it that makes sense, does it? It makes sense to me. Okay, that this is the gimel, the dalet is D, this is G, hey is the house, H as in house, V as in vav. So you want to see that vav, and Z is Zaying. I would say Zazing. I don't know if that's the way it's pronounced, but we'll see. And ch sound is this character here that is spoken like in German. That's why I like the different languages, because in German you have Bach, and you see how they wrote Bach here. It's Bach, and it's like that sound. Bach. That's the correct way to say Bach. It's not just Bach. It's not Bach. It's Bach. So you have to have that. And in Hebrew, it has that same. And also, you were talking about the similarity in I was about to say Islam in Arabic. Yes, they have the same. They have that same, sound with the back of the throat. So there's another similarity there. So that's one of them actually. Um, so here you have Bach, Bach. Okay, so that's the of the chet. And I believe I would have trouble with these languages only because I have it's a family thing that we have like the phlegm here at the ready moment to mess up our Hebrew and German. So that's the thing. But anyway, hey, listen. Probably if I had been raised speaking Hebrew or German, I wouldn't have this issue today. Hey, you never know, right? So yeah, it would have cleared out by now, wouldn't it? But anyway, Bach, the cat. I believe that's pronounced cat. Cat. Let's check it. Something to check out in the translate. Let's see where. Yeah, we paid this here. Where are you now? Okay, we'll get it in a second. Well, we'll get it here. Oh, there you go. So let's type in the cat, and so it'll be a CH. Let's see here. Wait a minute. No, the cat. It says here would be this. That H, and I would be tempted to do the tav for the T. It's not necessarily there's actually two T's, mm, but I'll do that. And it doesn't have any vowel things here, so it doesn't have any vowel things. See, so it's writing it differently. So let me just. So that's not helping in that sense. Oh, I'm sorry. This is probably a CH sound. Let me look for this in the alphabet thingy. Where are you? I'm going to cat. Is that house? Let me check on what I was choosing here. Oh, I see. So yeah, I was choosing the wrong thing symbolically in terms of the cat here. Uh, this has phonetic. Let's see what the Israel Standard does. If it didn't make it worse. Yeah, no, I don't see it here. I don't see it here. And as you see here, it gives you some helps on this side. Not that it's helping me any, but it's there, it's available. Yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm not mistaking it here. Uh, let me try to look that up directly in Google. Let me just look it up here. Cat and Hebrew letter, and yeah, and they said pronunciation. Pronunciation. So it's looking like that N. It says the eighth letter of the Hebrew alphabet is called Chet. See that? It rhymes with met or made, and it has a light scraping sound of CH as in Bach. Bach, right? That little scraping sound that they put. That was a good way to put that. And there was a mention of the way it sounds. So it looks like it's that N looking letter. So let's get back over here. So then this is supposed to be this. So I'm gonna put that in, and I'm going to put in the Aleph, but it's probably going to render it as a, and then I'm going to put in the T. It's probably going to render it as cat. No, it renders it as U. Ah, U. No, it renders it as UY. Let's see this.
Hat.
I didn't hear that, so let me make it so I can hear it.
Hat.
Hat. So again, oh, that's why vowels are off. Let me put the vowels on. Okay, vowels on. Does that make a difference?
Hat.
No, hot. I believe you can put in some points here, but I don't know how to use this yet here, so I'll have to read up more on it so that we can have more accurate wording here. Can't seem to get it. Can't seem to get this thing to produce what we want. It's just a learning experience here with this phonetic. I'm just going to have to get this straight in its pronunciation. There has to be, I'm sure there's a video that we could see here that has it pronounced. So let's look at videos. I think this is a video itself. Let me see. Yeah, let's hear that for a little bit for educational purposes.
האות של היום היא ח'.
So that is K. Okay, so that's basically how they're doing that. This is on learn the Hebrew letter K. Hebrew word chat food means cat. Begins with the letter K. Okay, so basically the kids are getting it straight. We're the ones having the issue here. You adults here are dumbfounded. Alrighty, we get the point. All right. So again, it's because of these resources that are brand new to you, as it would be when you come to approach these new things, a new website, different ways of doing things. There is going to seem strange to you until you gain some mastery of it. So this is it doesn't mean to get frustrated, because I know that a lot of people, when they start learning a language, they encounter things like that. You figure, well, this thing is going to help me, and I'll be able to start speaking in 2 weeks or something like that. It's not going to be like that. It's really, you're going to run into some snags and some issues. The worst thing you can do is to quit. Um, it's part of the deal. It's part of the game. You just have to keep hitting and keep trying to get things together. What difference does it make if you can't? You don't know if you're using the typing thing right. That has nothing to do with the Hebrew. Has nothing to do with the language you're trying to learn. So you gotta understand that has nothing to do with learning the Hebrew language. So don't get frustrated at things that have nothing to do with anything. Uh, until you get a better grasp of what it does do and how to make it do things, then you don't have to use that as a stressor or as a reason. Oh, let me stop. This is getting over my head or something like that. No, no. It's just that this tool, you don't know how to use it yet. That's all. You need to read up on it. You need to find out, how it's to be used, and the difference between the Israeli, as for in that example, the Israelis and the standard or whatever the two things were. So you need to understand the phonetic, I think, was the other. So you need to just, okay, we won't continue there right now. Let's go on to, the other thing. So basically, just let's expose ourselves to the alphabet, and then uh, to the the vowels. So let's look at some of the vowels now. Let's look at some of uh, the ways that things are supposed to be um, talked or vocalized. So let's look at that now, because since we're reading the letters, let us adopt one of the points, right? One of the ways of expressing the vowel sound that's supposed to happen. So we'll do the first things first, right? So when you see this line here, I think this is blown up as much as it's going to get. Oh, there's still some more in the juice in there. So as you see this line here, right? That line in the middle is ah as in father. Ah. So we're learning one at a time. So let us then go to the alphabet and let us read the alphabet. Let us read. I'm going to put all these together because we need quicker access, and it's taking me a while to find. Uh, taking me a while to find the right thing that we're supposed to be using right now. So let me just rearrange this. Where are you now, boy? Where have you gone? Just on each one. Yeah. Did we move away from that? Probably. So I don't see the alphabet any longer. So now get one of these Googles, bring them back over here. With this, and let's do the search again for the Hebrew alphabet, because I don't know where this thing went off to that we had. We were using it, and then it went off someplace. As you can see here, when you're doing the alphabet, you can see there's so many different images that you can use um, to do your your practice on. Um, so you can just look at them and see what you want to do as your practice. Uh, Here's one that has pronunciation, so it actually shows you the vocal points, the vowel points. I'm sorry, I go changing this as I go along. Okay, so let's look at one of just the simplest ones here, and just go with that for our study today. We'll go here and we'll look at that. So here we have the aleph. Now, but it's like an ah, like father. Remember with the long a with the long sign that we're going to put under it, the nikud, right? Is that nikud? It probably is wrong on that, but that the vowel point, we're going to make it the line underneath the end, like a little short underline at the center below the letter. So the sound is ah. So that would be simply ah, simply the way the aleph would be without, no other marking. And then here we have ba. Again, we're adding the line beneath the letter. This would be va, long line. And next time I'll have ready for you, I'm going to actually do the points underneath so you can see it. I don't have that set up, but we're going to need it for next time. Ga, long line, da, and then that would be ha with the long line underneath, and this would be va with the long line underneath. Other ways to say it as well, but the long line underneath would render it za, right? Za, ma, lamed. Well, we could go here. I'm doing the English way. I'll go back over here, right to left, and it's ka, ka, ka. And then this would be ta, ta. This would be ya, ya. That would be a ka, ka. And that would be, again, ka, with a little bit of the H, ka. You have to have that H in there. And then this is, it says final kaf again, and we'll have to look into these repetitions of sounds. And this would be a ka, or at least that it finishes. Final kaf, maybe that you normally use this at the end. I know, I don't, I'm guessing. But the final kaf, lamed, la, ma, again. Ma again, na, and this would be na again because it's the end sound. Simply, this is sa, and this is silent. So I guess nothing is said with that. And then this is p, is pa. Now without the dot, it's an f. Same character, except that the F doesn't have a dot in there. Fa, that's pa, fa. Again, we're imagining, but we're placing the long line underneath. And this again is a final fe, so it's a fa as well, fa. This would be tz, za, sa, like czar, sa, with the long line. Again, sa. So if I'm correct, you have a few repetitions in it's a sounding. So that's a good thing because it means you have less to learn. Here's a kuf, and again, it would be the ka sound, and with the long line, ka as well. This would be ra, the long line, ra. Ra. Now, it doesn't mean that this is the only way to say Ra using this letter. It just means that with the long line, it would be an A. It would be that ah sound, simply. Again, this the with the dot over the first arm of this, what we would call a W, is sh sound, sh, and with the long line underneath is sha, sha. This with the dot over the last arm is an S sound, so that would be a sa, sa, sha, sa. And then we have, of course, the tav already. It is with the long line underneath. It would be tav. Then without the dot, it would be a T as well. Although they named it sa. You have the tav and you have the sav, which probably means it's difference between strong and soft. Again, just concluding things. That's what normally anyone would conclude with, I guess, sufficient um, cognitive powers. You would resolve it that way normally. And again, we'll check that cognitive level. We'll see, are we right or are we wrong, using that relativity. So, again, and we will render that as ta, just for this uh, experiment. So let us try another letter, and you can see here that the Sephardic, the little t, we'll just call it a little t, underneath the character. Now you see here the aleph. The aleph is placed there as an example. It could be any of the consonants, right? We're just focused here on what's underneath or on top, right? So here we have the little t. The little t is also pronounced as an ah. So little long dash and the t are basically the same sound it's given. Um, I'm sure there has to be a reason to use one and not the other at certain circumstances. Again, we'll look into that as we do more of these as time goes by. So that being what it is, let us go to A as in they, and that would be a consonant with two points in it, right? With two dots underneath centered, and we'll just consider that now. I won't deal with that purple thing. I think the purple thing has something. Let's see, this is a purple, or technically consonants and would appear in unpointed text, but they function as vowels in this context. The letter shown in purple. So I don't know if this counts as a letter shown in purple or not. Again, I'll have to just check on that for you. But in either case, two dots in the center, like they, A. So it's an EY sound. So again, the aleph with the EY would be basically A. Still, just it's phonetically, it's A. The bet or the B, where it would be bay, bay. Without the dot is vey, vey. See, that's how you start to read it. The G, the given with that is gay, gay. The dalet is day, day. Just in sounding, it's not the word day. The H here is, the hey would be as it says, hey, hey. The V would be they, with two dots underneath. Two dots underneath, they. The chet would be che, like that. Tet would be te, yud, ye. Calf, again, these K's would be K, until further notice. The lamed would be lay, as in Spanish for law. Mem, the M would be may. Okay, the N would be nay, nay. And this one also has the same end. The S would be say, say. Yin is silent, so it could be an A. Just simply the voicing would be A, even though the yin is silent. Again, in imposing my cognitive relationing, relativity, which is what we'll check on later on. The P is pay, pay. The F would be fey, fey, not with the name, but the EY, they, fey, as in, right? Different than just the FA, but the sound's practically the same. Again, the F is repeated. It's say, right? TZ. Same thing. The K here, K, K. Ray, ray. Okay. The SH, shay, shay. This S, say. The tav, tay, tay, and sav, the same. So basically, we did the long line underneath the consonant. We did the T, the little T underneath the consonant. Both of those are A's, A's as in father. And then we also did the, and then we also did the two dots, which would render the word or the vowel as A as in they, Theyey, and we read through the alphabet using the consonant plus the 2 points underneath, and that is basically how we're getting started with this um, uh, uh, Hebrew reading and rendering. This week, during the week, at some point, I'm going to do some more research the on the vowel points and also on the repeated letter sounds. I'm going to do some more research on those things specifically because they do cause us some concern in dealing with this. I mean, why are there like two different ways and three different ways? And I think in the K, in the sense of the K, there's like four K sounds, and so we're going to see what is the difference really between them, so that we can express that to you guys next time in our next program for next week. So we thank you for joining us today in our exploration of Hebrew, and we hope that it's been educational, eye-opening to some degree for you, and as we continue to go on, I urge you to pursue more during the week using the resources we showed you. Look into that Wiki Book thing. I think that's a great option for gaining some more insight. I'm certainly going to spend some time on that during the week, and we'll get together next time, next Sunday. I try to do it at 6. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but I'll try to do it, and whichever time it does happen, if at all, and we'll do that. On other news, I've been trying to get that Portuguese polyglot on Friday nights happening, and it's just simply not happening. It's just too many. We're still with too many loose ends from our moving, and it seems like at the end of the week, it kind of like everything that's wasn't done during that week kind of like falls into Friday, and Friday just gets a little out of hand in terms of keeping a schedule. But we'll keep trying. One of these Fridays we'll be doing Portuguese. It's just when will that happen? But keep trying to tune in if those of you are interested in having fun with us for the Portuguese. Portuguese is going to be funny though, because I have a personal opinion about Portuguese and Spanish. Spanish, but I'll tell you guys, those guys that you guys that when we do the Portuguese show. Okay, so let's go with what we're going tomorrow. Tomorrow is Viral Political Monday, so we'll be doing politics tomorrow actually. Um, But tomorrow, in term language wise, is our Mandarin Chinese. Matter of fact, I was able to begin to use just a little, just one word at a Chinese food place. Did that? Yeah, I dared. Oh man, I got them big. I got them big, and I dared to try out some of that Chinese on the lady behind the counter, and she corrected a little bit on because you say she. I was saying she, and she said she. So I don't know what she is actually, but she was nice enough to correct me on that last part there. And so, but listen, you gotta try. All these things are good. You gotta try them out, and don't be afraid, and you might learn a thing or two. Take care. I hope these things are helping you. Just take the time every day to do some thinking, play around with the language, explore it, hit your head against the wall a few times with it. Just have fun with it. Don't make it a big deal. You say, I don't make it a big deal. I just have fun with it, do something with it, and just keep hacking at it. You have to understand that with all of these languages, think about it. There's I'm going to be very truthful to you. I don't want anyone to get upset or offended. There's stupid people speaking these languages. That's the reality. There's stupid people speaking these languages. You can do it, Dad. If they can do it, you can do it. All right. So don't be afraid. Just hack at it. It'll come. It'll come, and after a few months, you can do it. Hey, yes, right. You can do it, and do yourself that favor and increase your capacities slowly and surely, and just have a good time with it. I hope I'm helping you guys have a good time with languages. Just have fun and grow. And you want to do something more serious, you got the links in my YouTube channel there, Global My CVH Network. Look for the polyglot videos and have fun. And do it if you want to do it professionally or learn for real because you got to do something with it. Then do that. Girlfriends are a lot of help too. Anyway, but that's another resource. Take care. See you guys next time.